Coming up next on One TV.
We don't have a mechanism that celebrates hip hop, and I believe we have so much influence on the world when it comes to that.
I wanted to change this system for the better for our community.
Welcome to One TV, your source for all the latest happenings in Shelby County government impacting our community. I'm your host, Kontji Anthony, and today we have a special guest joining us. We're honored to have Commissioner Mickell Lowery, the County Commissioner representing District 8. Now, joining us here today, before we get into talking about all things county, I just want to kind of go back into your background here. Pretty impressive. From Ebony Magazine's Top 30 Under 30 to FedEx Management, various roles on boards and associations. You're a family man, you have a wife and 3 daughters, and then a legacy lawmaker. I could go on and on. It's a lot longer than this, but Myron Lowery, the former interim mayor for the City of Memphis and longtime councilman, talk to me about growing up in a political household and how that impacted your role.
Wow, Kontji, you know, there's a lot there. You know, I've probably been knocking on doors and holding up signs since I was about 8 years old. But it's funny, if you told me I was going to run for office, I'd have laughed at you, right? Because you know how some children are. You just kind of rebel against what your parents are doing. You want to do something else totally different. But, you know, growing up in a household like that, not only with my dad, but also my mother, also being a servant leader as well, and she's in ministry. You know, you want to be involved in your community, and really it's Lamorne College that got me on the pathway of that when I became SGA president, and then everything else just had me involved. So that kind of gave me my catalyst to start.
Okay, so you have been the chairman for the county commission, and it just expired. Just talk to me about the role of commission chair. I mean, is that the hot seat, or what is it?
It's a little bit. It depends on the day. You know, I'm honored to have been chair of that board, the body. We have a very historic board. I can't go without saying that this is the first time where we had 7 women, 5 of which have been African American. That's never happened before in the history of our county with the county commission. So I was honored that they selected me to be chair. But sometimes it is hot seat, right? It's really dictating what the agenda looks like. Obviously, keeping some sense of decorum in the body to making sure sometimes our members have that issue with that sometimes as well, making sure that the conversation stays on point.
Drop the gavel.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that, but it's been an honor. We've accomplished so much in 1 year, and we've had so much take place in this 1 year as my chairmanship. So I wish Ms. Clay Bibbs, who will be our new chair, the best of luck, and I'll be here to support her going forward.
Yeah, a lot of big issues during your tenure.
Sure.
Okay, so we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk about those highlights coming up.
Shelby County, Tennessee was founded as an agricultural hub for the South. We're now an ag tech center for the world. We're on a mission to prepare the nation's next generation of leaders by providing world-class education, world-renowned healthcare, and a strong infrastructure to support the world's best businesses. Shelby County is more than a place for people to live. It's a destination where families can thrive. We welcome diversity, we celebrate our culture, and we honor our history. Welcome to Shelby County. Or like we love to say, welcome home.
Welcome back to One TV. We are here with Shelby County Commissioner Mickell Lowery. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you recently passed this year's historic budget. Can you talk about just some insights on one of the big topics, funding Regional 1 Hospital?
Mm-hmm. You know, that is an historic project for us as well. In my opinion, it hasn't been anything such as impactful. It's probably the Memphis Grizzlies coming to our city. And you say like, wow, but it's a huge project. I mean, what's going to have an impact not only on our citizens and having the best healthcare possible, attracting the right doctors and technology, but also impact's going to have on business. Think about what happened with the airport. We always talk about that in Atlanta, this huge project that Mayor Jackson was able to foster through and also have contractors that obviously were minority and things of that nature to work on those things. Regional 1 is going to be that type of impactful project if we're done it the right way.
Okay, let's imagine a world where this didn't happen, that there was no funding for Regional 1, right? Because it was controversial to pass this. Talk about what that world would look like if we didn't see this pass.
Well, we would just be doing the same thing all over again, and hopefully nothing happens, right? We'll just be hanging on for a prayer, essentially. We know when you tour Regional 1 and you see the people working there, you have a tremendous amount of respect for them. But when you see patients in the hallways and not having adequate air conditioning because things are being pumped through, or you see generators that are older than you and I, you just really come to realization that if we have a catastrophic event, power outages, whatever it may be, people die. And so therefore, I'm proud of the county commission. I'm thankful for the administration for having to put forth a plan for us to have a better regional one for our citizens. It has so much impact, and unfortunately, in our community, people go to Regional 1 nightly.
And it's the only level 1 trauma center, I believe, in a 150-mile radius that also serves not just this state, but Arkansas, Mississippi. So it's
Missouri, it goes on. So it has a tremendous regional impact.
Okay, let's talk about the other groundbreaking pledge to back Black-owned businesses. Explain what that was all about and what the impact will look like.
Well, for so long, Kontji, about 1% of our overall of our contracting business has been with minority-owned firms. It's not enough. We need to do better from that standpoint. So Regional 1 is going to be a catalyst project to increase the amount of participation we have from minority-owned firms. We got to do better there, so we need a large project as Regional 1. Now, again, what shouldn't be lost in this funding, too, is the funding for 2 new schools as well, which have been needed for so long. Fraser, which I represent as well, so proud of that, and also in Cordova. So these projects will also assist in what you're talking about, is getting more minority contracting and more people involved in our business. Let's
transition here to the big topic that I want to say more than 80% of polled residents by the Daily Memphian say that crime is just a major factor that concerns them. So we know that since 2011, crime in Shelby County is up by 52%. It was the lowest in 2011. What can be done on the county level to turn that number around?
So much can be done, and unfortunately, it's not one of those things. It's not a magic one. Believe me, if we had one, we just all institute it. But it's a holistic approach. From the county standpoint, it's how can we increase our internship program so we have more young people involved in an early age that have mentors and have jobs and hopefully see another path in crime? How can we have the best judicial system possible to where the people who are committing crimes, obviously you have to serve that sentence or have a bond that meets the requirement there as well, but also giving people another chance. Everyone deserves a second chance as well.
I mean, and I was just thinking maybe of the correlation between backing Black businesses and that being something that could be almost like a crime preventer because it gives a positive space for someone to realize their gift.
That's true. Kontji, there are some people out there that are going to commit crimes, no matter what, all right? But there are some people who are influenced by their surroundings. And if you have an environment that's thriving for internships, businesses that can take people on and mentor them, see another path. I started my career because of an internship, so I know how important those things are. People need to see what they'll be, right? And so if we give people those opportunities, that will change over time. But in the right now, here and now, we need to make sure that our judicial system is as robust as it needs to be, that those judicial commissioners are following the letter of the law, and obviously when people are committing crimes, that people have to serve them and pay the proper bail for them.
Okay, let's talk about the good stuff, the positive things, right? Shelby County is such a special place. I mean, we're right here on the waterfront, so much to offer. As you continue on the commission after your chairmanship, what are you looking forward to? Some of the highlights of what you're hoping to see happen?
Well, a myriad of things, but again, I mentioned the schools. I'm excited about that, excited for Fraser. That's been needed for some time, so seeing a new school built there will be tremendous, and the impact it's going to have on the citizens there. Again, people see these nice schools in different parts of our community and wonder, why don't we have them? And so that's going to change the trajectory for so many people. But also what I'm looking forward to are some projects I've been working on. You know, I'm passionate about Memphis. I'm passionate about the music industry here. I believe that Memphis music impacts the world and has impacted. So there's some projects I'm working on that I'd like to see come to fruition one day, specifically around hip hop. We have a genre of music that's celebrated in Memphis, but we don't celebrate that genre just yet. You know, we have Stax, we have the Rock and Soul, we have Sun Studios, obviously we have Graceland, we have a Blues Foundation here. We don't have a mechanism that celebrates hip hop, and I believe we have so much influence on the world when it comes to that. So I'm looking forward to that project as well.
It is the top genre.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so from what I recall, in Brooklyn, New York, they launched it, the Hip Hop Museum, and it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And let me tell you about their project that has the Universal Hip Hop Museum in Brooklyn. Not only they did that, they put over 500 affordable housing units on top of that project, right? So it's not just about the music, it's about the community development. Memphis can follow in that same suit as well. So not only are we celebrating the music, but also to show young people there's more than just being in front of the camera, right? There's all types of jobs that come to the music industry, behind the camera, A&R, whatever it may be, studios, engineers. So much educational that can be brought into this place other than just celebrating the music.
So there's a model out there. Are you in contact with folks?
I am. I was able to travel to New York recently to meet with the executive director there. They've gotten a tremendous amount of funding, not only from the federal standpoint, but the state and local. They've written the blueprint, so we're out there. Hopefully we'll follow it.
There are a few spaces that I could imagine where this could be. Just a thought. Okay, let's end this on a fun note. It's a fun question for you. This is a difficult one. So if you could have a superpower for one day, what would it be and how would you use it to benefit Shelby County?
Gosh, just for one day.
Yeah, one day.
You know, so to benefit the county, give me infinite wisdom.
Oh,
so
wow.
Give me infinite wisdom for the day.
Like the future? Like you'd know the infinite. It's infinite. Oh, wow.
Infinite wisdom for the day. But then give me all the problems, right? So help me figure out the next budgets for the next 10 years. I'll figure out where the schools need to be. We'll figure out crime and all these issues, and that'll take care of it. Give me 24 hours with it.
All right. Crime fighter, visionary.
Community development, all those things.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Mickell Lowery, for joining us and sharing your insights with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to hear from Kelly Roberts. Judge Tarik Sugarmon made history when he became the first African American to hold the seat of Shelby County Juvenile Court judge after being elected last year. A year in, Judge Sugarmon talked with One TV's Kelly Roberts about his mission to make sure fewer children come into contact with his court. Shelby County Juvenile Court Judge Tarik Sugarmon has been on the job for nearly a year now. In that time, his priorities have been to reallocate resources to boost public safety, to support families, and to make sure kids don't come into contact with the court he heads up.
It's a matter of understanding the community and the trauma of these children facing that community. Now, I was also in those communities. I grew up in those communities.
Judge Sugarmon was elected as Shelby County Juvenile Court judge in August of 2022. He ran on experience.
Understanding that there were changes that needed to be made, and I had the background in civil rights and the background in understanding youth justice, having worked here in the juvenile court as a trial attorney. I wanted to change this system for the better for our community.
About 2/3 of the cases coming through the Shelby County Juvenile Court are welfare cases. A common misconception, Judge Sugarmon says.
Such as your child support, child custody, termination of parental rights, dependency and neglect petitions.
Many of those cases involve entire families, but Judge Sugarmon understands the children involved in a welfare case may be more vulnerable because of trauma to ending up on a delinquency case. So Judge Sugarmon is making sure there are proper interventions in the court to help prevent that from happening.
We're trying to develop a core of counselors that will work with one family, one counselor. We want to allocate 20 of those on the child welfare side who work directly with the families, and they would be a first point of contact and continued contact with one counselor per family. That counselor is able to go along. If a child comes out of that family and appears to be having problems in school, problems of truancy, problems of delinquency, then we can start to address that by getting the child involved in pro-social activities in the community.
For those children who are in delinquency cases, Judge Sugarmon hands out consequences and also lessons on accountability.
The court is an intervention. It is not a cure-all, a fix-all. We handle cases in an expeditious and fair manner, and to make sure we hold youth accountable. Accountability is in different forms. It's not necessarily locking somebody up and pushing them to the side and ignoring the trauma that they've come out of in their communities. Accountability is making a person aware of the danger and the damage that they're doing by committing these delinquent acts in the community.
A Memphis native, Judge Sugarmon, has been making movements for change since he was a child. Now he's in a role to make a change in another child's life. Judge Sugarmon says he needs your help. Juvenile Court is currently looking for volunteers for its Foster Care Review Board and Auxiliary Probation Service. To find out more, you can call Juvenile Court at 222-0800. For 1TV, I'm Kelly Roberts.